Hello, I'm Shailendra, and you're watching the fourth episode of SAP Analytics Cloud Leadership Series, simulcasted live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We all know design is a very important aspect of user experience, and I thought to get the best in the trade to talk about importance of design in analytics. Nico is an experienced designer with over 20 years of experience in interaction design, design thinking, media production, 10 years of software development experience, and 5 years of cloud software development experience in the field of data management, analytics, and planning. Today, he leads a global team of domain experts driving user experience, user assistance, and design services. Nico holds an audiovisual media engineering diploma from Stuttgart Media University. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome Nico, Head of Product Management, SAP HANA and Analytics Cloud, joining us from Germany. Hi Nico, how are you?
Good morning, Shailendra. Good morning, everyone.
It's afternoon here, so good morning to you. It's 6 o'clock, it seems.
Good afternoon to Asia.
Thank you for taking time and coming online early in the morning. So Nico, let's start from the start. Let's talk about yourself. Where are you from? How long have you been working with SAP? And the most exciting, personally rewarding thing about your work today.
So I'm with SAP since 12 years now. So I started as a designer, worked also in product management in between, and then turned back to the role of designer. And you said product management before, which is not wrong, because what we do in design, we also take many things into account when we design products that often product managers do as well. So as I said, 12 years with SAP. Before that, I studied audiovisual media. So I know what you are doing. I know what's happening right now, because often I'm also behind the camera. And I was lucky, so I found another spotlight for this interview today. So I have a media background, and that helps for sure also when working as a product designer.
Okay, so please explain the importance of design in analytics. Now, we've been talking about analytics, and I have dealt with a lot of business users in analytics. So how important is design in it?
So design is very important, is key. So you said it before, I'm leading a team of global domain experts. Domain experts on one hand side, they are experts in the field of database and analytics. And on the other hand, they have expertise in user assistance, meaning documentation, terminology, everything the text you have on the screen, and also the documentation that you need to use your software. And then I have a team focusing on design services, customer engagement, design thinking, engaging with end users, user research, and the most important aspect of the work of a design team is designing new products and maintaining the products, especially for the cloud, where we focus on adoption and we continuously improve the quality of our products.
So when we talk about design, and just correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this about what people are seeing in the SSC perspective, what they're using the interface for? Is that what you're working on? Is that what you design for SAP?
Exactly. That is one of the main aspects. And I brought something with me to give an example. Our latest release last year was Data Warehouse Cloud. And you see, this is how one of the initial posters look like. When we sat together 1 year ago, also with sales leaders, and with business leaders and with development teams, we showed how it should look like, basically. And this is why I'm often saying we are the spark of innovation before a product life cycle kicks off. And then during the life cycle, we engage with end users. I have also an example that would be an example of a executive summary that we do when we talk to end users. We try to understand if the product that we put on the market fit their needs, and if there are things we can do better in terms of usability.
Okay, the present, how do you see the market? Well, when you look at the analytics market, how is it different industry by industry in terms of design? Don't you think that, well, there are lots of softwares, analytics softwares in the market. The design that you see for one software to the other is different, and how is that taken by each industry in the marketplace?
So the good thing about design is that it is a field where you focus on the assembling of things that people can use. So meaning we look at psychology on the other side. So what are the needs of the people, and a bit about sociology also on the other hand. So what is the society and the trends? So what people like to see in the future. In terms of design languages and design systems, for sure, brand language is important. So the brand of SAP, the brand of other big companies, they influence the design system. But apart from that, it is not so much different from what other companies are doing. I want to give you an example of another industry to explain how important design is, also in terms of like value of the company. We are living in the age of cultural capitalism right now. That means that we're not only selling goods, or that I'm using goods that have a function, but these goods have also a symbolic value. For example, you may know this is a Nike Air Jordan shoe. So what does it mean? So a designer, Tinker Hatfield, worked together with Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player, and they designed this shoe together. For sure, it's a huge marketing effort to do that then, but very important that you have the expertise, like from a player like Michael Jordan, and put it together with the expertise of a designer, and then you design something that has not only high functional, but also high symbolic value. And when you just look at stock prices that went up of this exact company 16 times in the past 20 years. Another famous example, you all know the iPhone. Sir Jonathan Ive designed it, and devices sold in the past 10 years went up 18 times. Not a secret how important design is in terms of putting new products in the market and maintaining them.
So there is a guy who's asked you to show the coaster again. It's a guy called Varun Mitra, and he wants the coaster to be seen again. Just give me a minute. I will put it on big screen. That one. Yep. Okay. So this is how it looked like when you started it all.
This is like, usually we start with wireframes. So usually all the experts come together. We have, the bright product experts, the experts in development and engineering. We invite often people from sales as well. Then we do our first sketches. That is done sometimes low fidelity, most of the time low fidelity at the beginning. But if we want to pitch the idea, we bring it to senior people to take a decision. Then we often spend the time and do what we call high fidelity prototypes, and put it together that it's more tangible and people can understand how it would look like if they would experience it in a daily use.
You mentioned psychology of the end user and the sociology. Can you elaborate more on that, please?
Yeah. So psychology is what we all as people facing. And our team is responsible also for product standards like accessibility, like UX consistency. And I give just an example of the two product standards. So accessibility means inclusive design. That means that when we design products, we have to have in mind that, for example, somebody is using it at a mobile. So accessibility doesn't always mean disabled people. It could also mean like a mother or a father carrying a child and just having to withdraw the latest numbers from a database or some KPIs on a mobile phone. That is in the direction of accessibility. And when it comes to consistency, you know that our design language, our design system at SAP is Fiori. And this is why we have to ensure in the design team that the products that we build are Fiori compliant on one hand. And we, as a big design team at SAP, we also shape the Fiori standard that it suits the needs of our customers, and that we are always top notch in terms of what we offer to our users and customers.
There is a comment made by Peter Aaron, and he's mentioned Jordan's great mix of brand and expertise, but niche. So, yep, it's been well received. Okay. Any funny incidents that you want to share with the audience that you were talking about during the design phase? And you must have many of those stories. So please share one of those.
Oh, I wanna not a funny one. I wanna share the most important thing is like you know how important a good team is, and we have so fantastic designers everywhere. And I want to use this opportunity to say hello to Smita's team in Bangalore, to Jeff's team in Shanghai, and Johannes' team in Seoul. We work. Yeah, they are all part of our big design community, and without the hard work of these guys, I could list more people around the globe, but especially now want to take the chance to say thank you to the Asian colleagues in our design organization and what they have done in the past years.
Okay. I must say that there are around about 15 people watching us at the moment, and I would like to thank all the people who are engaged at the moment. Please feel free to ask questions, and Nico is going to take them, and I'm going to ask them at the end of the conversation as we go. So, Nico, the next question that comes to mind is about the challenges. What challenges do you see that makes it hard to design a system, design an environment for analytics, which is quite different to designing a shoe, as you mentioned, and it's quite different to the other things that we do. Designing a car is quite different too. But this is, you've got a screen and you're sitting in front of the screen and you want to make sure that it's intuitive enough in answering the questions that you want them to answer. So what are the challenges do you see in the market?
So challenges, I start with our team, and then I go to the market perspective. So in our team, when we started 5-6 years ago, we also thought, what is needed, what is missing, what do we want from a designer? And it's not just the skills that everybody know, like interaction design, like user research, like information architecture, or like doku development. What we also want to see that these guys are growing as domain experts as well. Because like taking another car example now, if you design for Formula One car, you have to understand how this car operates and how the business works. So we came up with something we call the designer's career path, where we develop our people along 5 axes. Starts with domain, product, customer. Also, we have the customer in focus for sure, process, and people. Last but not least, people and how you work with people. And that is what we did in terms of educating our people, and still continuing to do so. And on the market perspective, so very, very important terms like product market fit. So if you put a product in the market, it has to fit. You have to get what the market expects. Yep. And before you that, you have to be very sure. So you talk to the experts within the company to make sure that the first version of the product is what is best suited to the market needs. You know these terms like minimum viable scope, that you start with something that people can really use and work with, and then you build on top of that. Especially in cloud development, you cannot deliver everything at once. You start somewhere and then you develop on the go. And that is then also the beauty for the design teams and for product management teams, development teams, that we can engage with the customer. We can learn from end users if we are on the right track, on the right path. And if you ask me, the most difficult thing for a design team or for a product team is to create enjoyable experiences. In the past, people were just using a product, and it was not so important what the ecosystem looked like of the product. Or with the rich history we have at SAP, we have our flagship product S4. There you have it all combined. But in the future, we see also that people have various applications that they combine with each other. They have own setup, own infrastructures. They have cloud and on-premise combined in hybrid scenarios. So all very important and challenging, that we have always the success of our end users in mind, and we need to understand the ecosystem they are operating within. And I would say that is the most challenging thing, to see how our products, how our UIs behave in a wider context of the customer or the end user.
Okay, future. Where do you see all of this going? Which direction is it? And talking about the design aspect of it, NLP is coming into play very soon. So how does that integration with the visual, the audio, and the video that is going to work together as we go forward? What do you see that is going to work out, and how is that going to change the way we interact with any analytics product in the market?
So first, reiterate on our product strategy. So since we know it, like data is the oil of the 21st century, and what we built in our organization is the data superpower. So starting from data acquisition, from data integration, or starting even before with the HANA database, then going to data integration, acquisition, modeling, and then last but not least, most important for many of our users, to build the dashboards that they can use. And I brought also something with me I wanna share. We are IBCS certified, not IBCS on the book, but that is something that I think it's very important. So adoption is key. We combine human creativity and machine intelligence, and I will also talk about before I get to this book and the concept in the book. Maybe one last thing about what you ask. So we have a feature also called Search to Insights, where we also do our innovations in a direction where we understand that in the past it was about interacting with the system, be it on a mobile device or on the computer screen. But in the future, we anticipate that people will also voice to text. So this is what we are also working on, that you can ask a question. So how was the revenue in this and that region? And then the chart, the KPI would pop up right away. And I said, since we talk about future trends as well, that is not that new, but very important from our side. This is IBCS, and our product is IBCS. SAC is IBCS certified. And you see here the beauty of IBCS. To find my right finger, that is one. In this example, you see there is Berlin, Paris, and Rome. Let's say it is sales, and you see that they have a semantic how to deal with it. And I said you can use it in our product. So the actuals are black. The planned value is just an outline, and you can see at a first glance how the sales teams performed in Rome, in Berlin, or in Paris, basically. And you see it here that you have variances, and you can see at first glance which team is performing actuals compared to plan, and also the percentage value. That is just an example of IBCS, and I can highly recommend this to all our business users. If you want to convey a message, if you are standing in front of the decision makers, that helps a lot when you not just present a number, but you also show how this number evolved, or how it's compared to other numbers like last year's actual, or like previous year, previous quarter, or just to compare to another team or another account.
Okay, so we've got more than 20 users at the moment watching us. Another one, you said ICBS. What is that?
IBCS, yeah. IBCS, International Business Standards for Communication. Also known as HICHET standard, coming from Germany, and that is a set of rules that can help you to convey the message, that can help you to do better business reporting.
Sure. I would request all the people in the audience to please feel free to ask questions. As many questions you can ask. You've got Nico to yourself, and he will answer all of the questions without any delay. Here you get the answer straight away. Okay, Nico, any funny story you remember? And I stress on the funny aspect of it, that you see that, that reminds you that you're talking of building a design for an analytics front end, and you thought that was funny.
Difficult, we are Germans. We are not that funny, maybe. So off the top of my mind, I cannot think about any funny story, but that's not because we are super serious and everything we do is serious. you have seen that joy of use, enjoyable user experience are very important. So fun is part of what we do, what we have to do. So in our team, we also go out, we have drinks together, we stick together in the team, and the team is development, product management, and design, and very important for us. So the social aspect is important, and yeah, I don't want to share any of the stories that happen then if people go out together after business hours.
Okay. Use cases. Any exciting use case that that you saw while building a design, and also looking at the utilization of that design that really made a huge difference to the organization? It'll be great if you could share one of the use cases.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I know I can use that piece here. That is a user matrix that you can see here. These are the user types we have in our organization in HANA and Analytics. And you see it starts from a database developer and it goes to an interactive consumer. I probably have somewhere a better picture of it. But when you ask me of use cases, I will just pick Data Warehouse Cloud, because we have HANA on one side, the database, and HANA Cloud soon. We have Data Warehouse in the middle, and we have SAC then on the other side, where you can build dashboards and first and foremost consume dashboards. And especially Data Warehouse Cloud was very, very important for us because it's closing the gap. You have your experts at the LOB side, who sometimes also maintain data and have a shadow IT. How can they do something else? Because they need to answer, they need to have the answers right away. So they put the things together in Excel files, sometimes maintaining their own databases to draw conclusions in the marketing department, for example. And we have the central IT, and with Data Warehouse Cloud, we are addressing that problem, that you can have good experiences for the LOB, but built on top of corporate data models, and that we can leverage the corporate data strategy of a company. So top of mind, one of the most important use cases that I experienced in the past year. Yeah.
So let me ask you a tricky question. Because you're looking at designing the SAC environment altogether, do you get any phone calls from the bosses and saying, that design is not intuitive to me, what have you done? Or something like that has happened?
Yeah, this happens, and that is part of the deal. If you have that position. So what we do, and I said it before, we are a very, very close team with, for example, I mentioned Kate now and Matthias as my peers. They own SAC, and we are very close together. We discuss if things are happening. We have our teams. They are the design team. Our design teams are embedded also in the engineering teams. We work close together, and we act as fast as we can. But I must also say, what we also need to take into account is that you should not just run after each request right away and try to fix it to please the customers, because at the end of the day, we want to please our end users, and we cannot break the information architecture as well. So they are very valid points, and we are working towards them. But since I have the opportunity, I want to ask the market and the people outside also for a bit of patience, because if you want to do it right, it might take some time, and you get not the fix overnight. Often we don't talk about bugs, we talk about things that need more time and consideration.
Okay, one question. If someone sees and gets a good idea on a design for SAC, can they reach out to you?
Yeah, we are open, and I said my team, and with my team, I'm going broader now. So all the experts on the product management side, on the engineering side, on the design side, we are open. We talk to many people in the company, and we have many bright minds within the company, also outside the company, when we are engaging with our key partners. And I would also say that is one of the success criteria for our organization. I have to apologize. So the false German spring kicked in last Sunday and hit me when I was out with my family. So apologies that my voice is not there to finish the sentence. So the success criteria is that we are working close with our partners, with customers, and with the rest of the SAP ecosystem. So all ideas are welcome, and we are working constantly to inject these fresh ideas to our development lifecycle.
Okay, that was enough of me. Let's get to the audience questions. We've got quite a few. There are lots of people asking questions. I will go through. There are a few of them. There are, at the moment, 25 people watching us. I would request all of you, before I get into the questions, please like, share, and also ask questions here in the comment section. And please put a thumbs up and share it with your audience so that everyone can learn from today's discussion that we are having with Nico. So, Nico, let's start with the questions. One of the comment to start with, Dawn Christine Simmons, she said Germans aren't funny. That's one comment. Let's get to, well, in my opinion, I think they're a bit funny, but that's fine. Okay, there is a question from Darshil Mehta, and I think he works for a company called Bupa in Australia. And he's asked the question, how frequently the design framework should change?
Oh, good question. So ideally, the design framework would never change, but that is wishful thinking. So you have to have a stable design framework. You have to do the best that you can when you deliver it with all the knowledge, and you have to take the whole asset product market fit and the solution into account. You have to look at click path and where you put your actions. And then if you receive feedback that some workflows are not good, that for a certain persona, for example, the consumer, the administrator, the dashboard builder, the data analyst, something is not easy to use, and you get that feedback a lot, then it is time to change. So you shouldn't be afraid of changing. So as we say, it's never too late to do the right thing, but never ever rush into things. You have to be very, very sure if you change something that is that fundamental.
Okay, next question. Now this is a tricky one. He says, this is an interesting topic. This is from Peter Aaron, and I think he's from Australia too. And he's asked, this is an interesting topic, but it's a known fact that SAP user interface sucks. How is the SAP Analytics Cloud's interface different, and what are you doing to improve the user experience?
I said it before, like since day one, we are part of this. And I can also send a strong message to the market outside. If you want to have good products, good digital products, you need to hire UX people, you need to hire designers, and they need to be part of the conversations from day one. And that is very, very simple. That is the success criteria. And then to all the designers out there, you can only be successful as a designer when you not get stuck in the world of design. I have seen that also in the past. You have to understand the ecosystem of your company. You have to understand the business, how it operates. You have to understand the processes. Otherwise, you cannot be successful, and you have to take this into account as a designer. And for sure, you have to bring this rich knowledge in terms of education, interaction design, user research, information architecture, documentation, writing, content strategy. That is something you should bring, and then listen to what's happening in the company, build strong networks, and for the leaders and the managers, make sure that you have designers in all your important projects before you kick off a new product life cycle.
Okay, there is another question. Thanks for that answer. So is the cloud interface interactive with the user, providing recommendation and advice? So is that cloud interface interactive?
Yes. So, and what I showed before, that business standards for communication, the IBCS, started with print originally. And that is also why we had to adapt it to that it works in an interactive environment. And this is why we call our personas interactive consumer and interactive power consumer. So the dashboards that you see with Analytics Cloud, you can drill down, you have filter paths there, you have many pages there. So they are all interactive. That is the most important thing. And for those of you who have seen Digital Boardroom, that one was one of the first projects in this area. That is huge, where you have a huge TV screen or the touch screen where you can interact with many of the charts, or to get from away from boardroom to mobile experiences where you have just the most pressing KPIs or most important KPIs and charts there that you need to see. For sure, on a mobile device, interaction is limited. That we want to bring the data to the people that they can have a look. But especially on the dashboard, all our users are drilling down, setting filters, very, very important for them.
Okay, before I end, I want to ask a question which is around an advice to the budding digital product designers. So this episode will be watched by lots of beginners as well, who are beginning to learn analytics, to learn design, and how do they both of them come together. So it will be great if you could give some advice based on your 20 years of experience on what they should take away and what they should do correctly to be successful, to become a digital product designer.
Yeah, thank you for us. That is the most important question for me, because that is dear to my heart, and I thought about it thoroughly. If you would ask such a question, what I could say then. So number one, own the problem space. So often designers think that it's enough if I'm being called and I just do a fancy prototype, or I just deliver a beautiful design. That is not enough. You have to own the problem space, understand what the product is about, understand the product market fit, and understand the problems of your end user. Number two, stay curious. So you have to stay curious. Every day, new things are happening. You have to be open. You have to be open for change in your information architecture. Don't fall in love with the design that you do. You know that every designer does it, but stay curious means also interest in sales, in processes, in everything that is happening left and right. And last but not least, be proactive. So we as designers, we have to make sure that we support the business owners, and this means being proactive. So don't sit at your desk and wait that someone comes to your desk and says, oh, I want to hear your opinion. Be proactive, reach out, and consider yourself part of the product team. And that comes with the responsibility, and that means you need to be proactive as well. So these are the three tips for the coming up superstars in digital product design.
Thank you very much, Nico, and I really appreciate your time. And I know it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're just awake to take the call. Thank you very, very much, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalandra. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, guys. So that was Nico Licht from SAP. He was the Global Vice President for Design for SAP Analytics Cloud. Next week, I'll be back with another leader from the space, and we'll talk about another product and another area of analytics. So I look forward in seeing you. Bye now from Shailendra.